Let's talk about gold. U.S. gold reserves. Fort Knox, you know, the big shiny myth we've all been told exists. For a brief shining moment in early 2025, the world was on the edge of truth. Both President Trump and Elon Musk, yes, the semi-official head of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, were pushing for a full, transparent audit of Fort Knox. Trump said, "We're going to see the gold, every last bar." Musk said he would video it, live stream it, make it public so nobody could lie about it. And then, nothing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stepped in and, with a smile and a shrug, said, "All the gold is present and accounted for." Just like that, the narrative changed. Trump stopped talking, Musk stopped talking, and the media, squirrel-brained attention spans kicked in, and poof, the story vanished. Moving along, nothing to see here. So let's talk numbers. According to the U.S. Treasury, Fort Knox holds 147.3 million troy ounces of gold. That's about 4,600 metric tons. Its face value at the official balance sheet amount of $42 per ounce that hasn't changed since the 1930s is around $6.1 billion. But at today's market price, about $5,200 per ounce, that's closer to $800 billion. And that's just Fort Knox. The U.S. has gold in West Point, Denver, and other depositories. Total official reserves, roughly 261 million ounces, or close to 8,100 tons. Face value, about $11 billion. Market value, about $1.35 trillion. So here's where it gets weird. The U.S. Treasury hasn't allowed a proper public audit in decades. The last full transparent audit of Fort Knox was in 1953. And in the 1970s and 1980s, there were cursory inspections, but no full bar-by-bar accounting. And think about that. In a world where billions are moving electronically every day, and we can track every dollar, the physical gold of the United States, the most symbolic reserve of wealth, is essentially a ghost story. And here's a fact mainstream media won't touch. In 1974, the U.S. Mint and Treasury allowed a special congressional inspection after claims of missing gold. The result? 417,000 ounces were reportedly missing. Officials later found it in ledgers, but no bar-by-bar confirmation was ever made public. Then there's the reporting from independent auditors. Some retired Fed accountants, economists, and precious metals experts suggest that the numbers don't add up. Shipments, custodial transfers, leasing, and collateral arrangements with foreign banks make it impossible to track the actual physical holdings without a real transparent audit. And consider this. The Federal Reserve has been leasing gold to central banks and bullion banks. The Treasury has allowed gold swaps. It has been used to back exotic financial products. Essentially, the real gold may never physically sit in Fort Knox, at least not all of it. So why did the public forget? Because the story was buried in plain sight. The narrative was, trust us, it's all there. And Americans, busy with TikTok and reality TV, believed it. Trump tried to shake that off. Musk tried to make it transparent. But power has a way of absorbing even the loudest voices. Here's the kicker. The U.S. owns more than $33 trillion in public debt. Now it's closer to $38 trillion. The currency is fiat, and yet the gold, the last vestige of true monetary security, is the one thing we can't verify ourselves. So the question remains, where's all that Fort Knox gold? We know some of it is accounted for on paper, but is it physically there? Or is it part of an elaborate financial illusion, leased, swapped, collateralized, and leveraged in ways that no citizen could possibly track? I'll tell you what this really is. It's a failure of accountability, a failure to provide transparency. to the people who own it. And a reminder that in America, sometimes the most valuable things aren't just hidden, they are entirely untouchable. So the next time you hear someone say all the gold is present and accounted for, remember this: words don't weigh anything, bars do. And until somebody lets us see every single one, we have no idea what's really in Fort Knox. And this is not speculation. This is history, reporting, and mathematics. And that is why you should ask the hard questions. Because if gold, the most tangible asset in the U.S. that the U.S. owns, is unaccounted for, what does that say about everything else? So welcome to America in 2026. Welcome to Fort Knox, or at least what we're told is there. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. As always, take care of yourselves and each other, and build that stack, a real one that you can account for.